Good morning, basa na tayo ating libro. Today is December 15, 2022 na History of the Filipino People by Agoncillo and Guerrero. Yung may mga book na history book dyan. Basa na. Okay, History of the Filipino People, Part 3, Reform and Revolution. Topic number 9, Bonifacio and The Katipunan. Nandito tayo sa paragraph Celebrations. And ang basahin natin hanggang kay Andres Bonifacio lang, bukas na yung kay Emilio Jacinto. Ang haba kasi. Okay, celebrations. The nationalistic temper of the society was shown in its annual celebrations. February 17 of every year was recalled as the day of prayer in memory of the three Filipino priests, Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora. On that date, all popular councils were instructed to erect a catafalque shrouded in black with a torch at each of the four corners. The catafalque was adorned with wreaths made of makabuhay plant, the symbol of immortality. The members entered in single file and prayed for the souls of departed martyrs and swore to avenge their death. Andres Bonifacio. Bonifacio, the founder and organizer of the Katipunan, was born in Tondo, then a part of the province of Manila. On November 30, 1863, his parents were Santiago Bonifacio and Catalina de Castro. Andres grew up in the slums and never knew the benefits of a prosperous life. He had three brothers and two sisters, Ciriaco, Procopio, Espiridiona, Trodio, and Maxima. Andres studied the alphabet in a school conducted by a certain Guillermo Osmeña of Cebu. The death of his parents forced Andres to give up schooling to shoulder the burden of his family. Though very limited in his education, he was endowed by nature with a beautiful penmanship and an interest in craftsmanship. He made canes and paper fans which he peddled around. When there was time, he made posters for business firms. The little leisure that he had was employed in self-study, for he was a lover of books. Late in his teens, he was employed as a clerk messenger in the commercial firm of Fleming and Company. Serious-minded, honest, and dedicated to his work, he later on became the company's agent. He sold rattan, tar, and other articles of trade. His earnings, however, were not enough to make both ends meet, and so he transferred to Bristol and Company as an agent. His constant struggle to make a living did not give him much leisure to improve his mind. Nevertheless, he read books by the lamplight at home. He read Rizal's two novels, The Ruins of Palmyra, August Les Miserables, Eugene Sue's The Wandering Jew, The Lives of the Presidents of the United States, International Law, the Penal and Civil Codes, some novels, and a book on the French Revolution. Thus, while not fortunate to have a formal education, he educated himself by dint of hard work. In his early manhood, Andres fell in love with a certain Monica, whom he later married. The marriage was short-lived, for Monica died of leprosy. In 1892, he met Gregoria de Jesus of Caloocan and fell in love with her. After months of courtship, the two were married, with Restituto Javier and his wife Benita Rodriguez as sponsors. After their Catholic marriage at Binondo Church, the couple were remarried according to the Katipunan rites. After the rites, Gregoria was initiated into the women's chapter of the Katipunan and Just Lakangbini, may open close parenthesis as Muse, as her symbolic name. Henceforth, they took custody of the papers, revolver sales, and others paraphernalia of the society. Humble and self-effacing Bonifacio knew his limitations and recognized the worth of others when, after writing a sort of decalogue, ano yan, sounds yan ng heater, guys. Mamaya na. I-on ko lang ulit mamaya. Okay, ulitin natin. Humble and self-effacing, Bonifacio knew his limitations and recognized the worth of others when, after writing a sort of decalogue for the Katipunan, he found out that Emilio Jacinto Cartilla was better. He did not hesitate to set his own aside and adopted that of Jacinto as the official teachings of the society. Though the founder and organizer of Katipunan, he did not insist on becoming its president. It was only after discovering that the first two presidents were not as serious in their duties as expected of them that he took over the reins of the Katipunan government. To him, the question of the society's survival was a matter of life and death, for he knew that the success of any society depended on its president and the cooperation of its officers and members. In 1895, Bonifacio, together with Emilio Jacinto, Restituto, Javier Guillermo Masangkay, Aurelio Tolentino, Faustino Maniala, Pedro Zabala, and a few others went to the interior part of Morong, now Rizal, to find a place to hide in case of the discovery of the society. They reached San Mateo and Montalban and found the caves of Macarroc and Pamitinan safe places of refuge. Initiation rites were held in the two caves where many poor Filipinos joined the small group in order to become sons of the people. The Katipuneros old. And you went inside the cave under charcoal in hand. Bonifacio wrote on the walls, "Long live Philippine independence." Returning to Manila, Bonifacio plunged into a vigorous campaign to propagate the ideals of the society. He deposed Roman Basa as president and had been himself elected to take his place. Rumors and the leakage of the Katipunan secrets were broadcast, and Bonifacio, who had a one-track mind, and the rumors investigated, and those suspected of having a hand in the leakage were summarily expelled from the society. Such was Bonifacio's personality that no one dared to question the wisdom of his decisions. But he was not dictatorial. He was, in fact, humble and tolerant, but when the society's existence was at stake, he never hesitated to take drastic action against anybody whom he thought would defeat the purposes of which Katipunan was founded. Bonifacio was have been ignorant from the point of view of the middle class, but he succeeded where the middle class failed. The middle class, in their naivety, held on to their mistaken belief that Spain would hear their cries for reforms. Bonifacio, though not highly educated, had more insight than his intellectual superiors. It was this insight which led him to found the revolutionary Katipunan, for he knew deep in his heart that Spain would never grant the reforms demanded by the reformists. His insight told him that only an armed conflict could make the Spaniards realize the folly of their bullheadedness. Bonifacio then was the legitimate father of the revolution, and without him it is extremely doubtful whether the Philippine Revolution could have become a reality at a time when everybody seemed in despair without knowing anything about it. Yet in the present estimated he is overshadowed by Rizal as the national hero. The reason for this is that when the Americans came, they found in Rizal philosophy of education of the masses first before independence, a fitting rationalization for their colonial policy, namely that of benevolent assimilation, and so they encouraged and promoted the Rizal cult. On the other hand, they found in Bonifacio a common man, a dangerous precedent for Bonifacio stood for the use of armed might in attaining independence and freedom. For the Americans, therefore, to promote the Bonifacio cult was to defeat their own purpose of discouraging the Filipinos from taking up arms against them. It is only in the Philippines where the leader of the liberation forces is not the national hero. This is not to disparage Rizal, who was a great Filipino and who deserves all the honors that his memory now enjoys. The point is that Bonifacio should be placed side by side with Rizal insofar as the national estimation is concerned. So yun. Bukas na yung kay Emilio Jacinto. Bye everyone. God bless.